What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's special Smackdown of Tribute to the Troops, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including bad news for Charlotte Flair, CM Punk is a huge draw, Seth Rollins shoots on Roman Reigns' run as champion, Peter Griffin at Smackdown, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, Wrestlelamia.com. As always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Randy Orton pays Nick Aldis for next time. Last night's SmackDown showed that Randy Orton still hasn't changed a bit since he was knocked out of action 18 months ago. Orton paid SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis $50,000 for RKOing him last week, but also made sure to throw in an extra $50,000, letting Aldis know that will cover the next RKO. Orton is back at his business as usual, a take-no-prisoners attitude that makes for unpredictable TV. Number 2, the promo we should have had for Punk. Last night's Punk promo was one fans didn't get on Raw, as Punk managed to snark it up, joking about not having his promo time cut short, as was the case on Raw, reminding Roman Reigns that Paul Heyman was his wise man long before he was Reigns, and making the intentions in the WWE known to main event WrestleMania. Punk covered a lot in one promo, even finding time to throw shade at Seth Rollins, and even a quick jab at AEW. Number 3, WWE utilizing Punk properly. The WWE continues to capitalize on the universe's love for CM Punk, and not only by having him appear on Raw and SmackDown, but using him for maximum effect. First there was Punk's exciting promo, which likely spiked the TV ratings. However, the WWE used Punk well in a secondary manner, having him interact with superstars backstage such as Rumble favorite Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and LA Knight. Punk even managed to squeeze in a laugh at his expense when he mentioned how he and Kevin Owens are alike in liking to punch people out backstage, the jibe at AEW. Number 4, one of the better Tribute to the Troop shows. Last night's Tribute to the Troop special edition of SmackDown was one of the better editions of the WWE's annual show, designed to celebrate the contributions of men and women serving in the armed forces. Last night's show stood out largely due to CM Punk's appearance, but the show itself featured several meaningful matches, including the main event. Sometimes the WWE's Tribute to the Troop shows seem more like glorified live events, but not last night's show. No, that was actually pretty damn good. And Charlotte vs. Asuka always delivers. Charlotte and Asuka have wrestled each other many times, but they always know how to put on a fresh coat of paint for each of their matches. Last night's bout was exciting as ever and continued the story of the Blue Brand's babyfaces looking for payback on Damage Control, as well as Bayley's inevitable ouster from the group. The only downside to this match is that the Queen may have been injured, but more about that in the news. That was a good what about the bad is number 1, a meaningless US title tournament matches. Last night's US title tournament matches were meaningless as they served no purpose other than to fill time. The outcomes for both matches were never in doubt and did nothing to put the winners over. The WWE has been pushing Santos Escobar hard, so it was extremely unlikely that Dragon Lee, who has already wrestled and lost to him, would win. Even worse for Lee, he has a North American Championship match on the 9th December deadline PLE, so losing clean to Escobar made him look like a prize chump. As for Karrion Kross, it was the latest in a long string of losses, and while the WWE likely wanted to put the US Army veteran Bobby Lashley over on its Tribute to the Troop show, Lashley should have wrestled someone besides Kross. Number 2, what happened to the B-Fab storyline? What happened to the storyline of B-Fab and Bobby Lashley's mystery business deal? While fans might not care about it as much as the WWE thinks, it's unwise to start a storyline only to place it in the WWE Phantom Zone. This is yet another example of creative's difficulty juggling multiple storylines at once. And does Karrion Kross need his helmet back? Does Karrion Kross need his helmet back from his time on Raw? Well, that might be the only time he gets the fans' attention back after months of bad booking. Kross has become an afterthought, which might be understandable with Vince McMahon running creative, but not with Triple H. At least if you're someone who believes Triple H can do no wrong. The reality is that the game is doing a good job by comparison, but it continues to struggle juggling the WWE's ginormous roster. There was nothing downright ugly about last night's SmackDown. This was a usual by the numbers Tribute to the Troop show with plenty of feel-good moments, but it benefited tremendously from Punk's presence, Randy's first match on SmackDown, and a special appearance from Cody Rhodes. What do you guys think of last night's special SmackDown? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first we looked at bad news for Charlotte Flair. At top of today's news, there's a question whether Charlotte Flair was legitimately injured during a match against Asuka on SmackDown, and if so, how bad the injury is. A video was posted on X showing Charlotte clutching her knee as she sat on the mat apron while referee Charles Robinson checked on her. The Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online Steve Fowler is reporting Charlotte Flair was helped out of the ring after suffering an apparent left knee injury during a match with Asuka on Friday Night Smackdown. Social media reports from those in attendance at Smackdown differ as to where in the match Flair's injury may have occurred, but the star was noticeably favoring her left leg as the bout concluded and she had to be helped out of the ring and to the backstage area. We hope that this isn't a serious injury and we wish Charlotte Flair the best for a speedy recovery. Next up, CM Punk is a huge draw. As CM Punk's WWE return continues to boost business for the WWE, whether it's merch sales or ticket sales. A recent report from WrestleTix suggests the announcement that Punk is appearing on this week's Raw led to a big boost in ticket sales. Ringside News summed things up as follows. WrestleTix reports that the show had sold 8,283 tickets, with 916 still available for the setup of 9,199. Notably, in the last 6 days following WWE's announcement of Punk's appearance on the show, 1,511 tickets have been sold. The WWE's ticket sales have been strong for some time, but it appears that Punk's presence is fueling further fan demand for attending WWE shows. Punk had a similar effect in AEW, but it diminished over time. It'll be interesting to see whether the WWE can find a way to sustain the enormous interest in Punk right now though. Next up, Seth Rollins shoots on Roman Reigns' run as champ. And when it comes to Roman Reigns' run as champ, Seth Rollins isn't impressed. The current World Heavyweight Champion recently dismissed Roman Reigns' title run, reviving a long conversation about how relevant the Isle of Relevancy is. While there may be an element of kayfabe in Rollins' comments, that doesn't make them invalid. Sports Illustrated Media podcast, Rollins mentioned, "I mean, to be honest with you, as of late, because he's been so absent, I don't even think it's been a topic of conversation amongst fans, let alone the locker room. I think it's one of those things where it's an opportunity, but it's such a glass ceiling opportunity. Like it feels like almost it's one of those things where it may never happen. Like what's the point in wasting your time over there because the glass ceiling is so obvious and so thick, which is nice on my end with the World Heavyweight Championship." As Wrestling News pointed out, the Tribal Chief defended the Undisputed Championship 11 times in 2023. Factor in Reigns' infrequent appearances on PLEs, not to mention on ones he competed in tag matches rather than defending the title, and the difference between Rollins' title defenses, which occur regularly on TV, PLEs and at live events, are astonishing. Rollins elaborated on how his title reign is more important than Reigns. "I feel like there's much more of a real conversation to be had about who's that guy that's going to be able to dethrone me. If that's ever the case, because I'm available, I'm around, I'm visible, and I put myself out there. I take risks that Roman isn't really taking at the moment." The Visionary also commented on how Reigns' title reign is looked at by WWE's locker room. Seth noted that some fans might wonder who will dethrone Roman, but as for WWE superstars, from the locker room perspective, I think it's one of just those things where, like, Roman is off on his own world, doing his own thing. If you take a little rowboat out to the Island of Relevancy at some point, you can check the weather out and leave. For us, it's really not as big of a thing. It doesn't seem like it's prominent anyway. With the talk that WWE wants to book Punk vs Reigns, some fans think Reigns' run as Undisputed Champion could go way past WrestleMania 40. What do you think of Seth's comments though? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE Showing Re-Runs for Raw. Raw falls on Christmas Day, Monday 25th December, and if you were hoping for a full show, well, I got some bad news. Unfortunately, Dave Meltzer mentioned that the 25th December WWE Raw could be a best of show. Whilst other people say that they could have had a pre-taped Raw, would there be any point? Just let the wrestlers have the night off. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, the LA Knight CM Punk throwback. The circle is now complete, as wrestling fans showed LA Knight and CM Punk back from 2011 and 2023. The 2011 picture features Punk during his first run in WWE, and in the background, LA Knight can be seen playing a security official. The 2023 picture is from last night's SmackDown, where Punk wished Randy Orton and LA Knight good luck with their match against the Bloodline. This is just a reminder of many twists and turns a wrestler's career can take. And finally, Peter Griffin on SmackDown. Last but not least, anything can happen in WWE, as seen on last night's SmackDown when it appeared that Peter Griffin of Family Guy fame was in the audience. The universe attending SmackDown chanted his name, and with a fan striking a resemblance to Quahog's village idiot, hammed it up. This isn't the first time someone resembling Peter Griffin was spotted at ringside at a WWE event, but it's unknown if it's the same person. But there you have it, folks. Our look at SmackDown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.